You spend an hour explaining a concept to someone. They nod, say they understand, but the next day they've forgotten everything. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people who try to teach, whether parents, tutors, managers, or educators, waste 65% of their effort because they're reusing methods that don't match how the human brain actually learns. You're not a bad teacher, you're using bad teaching techniques. But here's what's fascinating. Why do students in Tokyo consistently score among the highest in international assessments while their teachers spend less time lecturing? Why does Toyota train employees twice as fast as Western corporations? It's a teaching philosophy called Oshieru, the art of guiding rather than telling. And neuroscience just proved it might be the most powerful teaching accelerator ever discovered. This is ancient Japanese wisdom adapted for modern learning. Let me paint you a picture. You're trying to teach your colleague how to use new software. You explain every button, every menu, every feature. You demonstrate it perfectly. They watch attentively. But when they try it themselves, they're completely lost. Meanwhile, across town, someone teaching the same software using the Oshieru method spends half the time, but their student masters it completely. What's the difference? They're not explaining. They're guiding discovery. Researchers using neural imaging made a breakthrough discovery. When teachers lecture extensively, the Western method, students' brains show passive reception patterns in the temporal lobe. Information enters but doesn't stick. But when teachers use guided discovery, the Oshieru approach, how students' brains show active processing patterns in the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus simultaneously. The difference, 70% better retention and 58% faster mastery. Think about teaching like tending a garden. You can plant every seed yourself and control every branch. Or you can create conditions for natural growth and guide the plant's own development. Oshieru is about cultivating understanding, not transplanting knowledge. Picture simple, clear, purposeful teaching. That's the essence of this method. Here's the paradox. The best teachers talk less but teach more effectively. It's not about how much you explain, it's about how much your student discovers through strategic guidance. Your brain is a muscle that grows with intelligent training through proper teaching methods. Imaging teaching like a skill tree, guided discovery creates deeper neural pathways than passive reception. Strategic approaches trump raw effort. First technique, the three-question framework. Instead of explaining everything, ask 3 strategic questions that guide discovery. Don't say, "Here's how this works." Ask, "What do you think this does? Why might it work that way? How would you test that?" This activates your students' prefrontal cortex, the reasoning center. They're not memorizing your explanation. They're building their own understanding. Transform passive reception into active construction. Teachers in Tokyo schools use this constantly. A math teacher doesn't say the answer is 12. They ask, "What patterns do you notice? What operation might work here? How would you verify your answer?" Students construct knowledge themselves. Western students memorize procedures. Students using guided discovery understand principles. That's why mathematical reasoning improves dramatically despite shorter instruction time. Create neurological triggers for deep understanding. Second technique, strategic struggle windows. Great education embraces something Western teaching avoids: productive struggle. Don't rescue your student the moment they encounter difficulty. The brain grows most during the struggle phase, not during the explanation phase. When teaching, present the challenge, then step back. Let them wrestle with it for 3 to 5 minutes before offering hints, not solutions, hints. This activates error detection circuits in the anterior cingulate cortex. The brain is literally rewiring itself to solve problems independently. Mindful, intentional practice. Martial arts instructors use this principle religiously. A sensei doesn't demonstrate every move perfectly and expect repetition. They let students attempt, fail, discover, adjust. The master observes and offers minimal guidance at strategic moments, like a tea ceremony master guiding without controlling. Western instructors fear students struggle. Master teachers cultivate it. Systematic knowledge reinforcement through productive difficulty. Third technique, the Demonstration-Deconstruction Cycle. Don't just demonstrate once and expect mastery. Use this cycle. Demonstrate slowly. Have them describe what they saw. Demonstrate again while they narrate, then they attempt while you narrate. Finally, they do it independently while explaining their own actions. This creates 5 neural encodings of the same skill through different modalities. Each repetition strengthens different neural pathways: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, verbal, metacognitive. Pottery masters in Kyoto teach this way. They demonstrate the technique silently first. Then they do it again while the student describes each movement. Then the student tries while the master narrates. Finally, the student works independently while explaining their process. 5 passes through the same skill, 5 different neural networks activated. Western teachers show once and expect mastery. Master teachers encode 5 times for permanent understanding. This is traditional Japanese craftsmanship applied to teaching. The neuroscience backs this approach completely. Studies tracked teaching effectiveness over 6 months. Teachers using Oshieru principles, guided discovery, produced students who retained 86% of taught material after 3 months. Teachers using traditional lecture methods. Their students retained just 31%. More shockingly, guided discovery students could apply knowledge to new situations 74% of the time. Lecture students, 23%. Strategic approaches trump raw effort, proven through these teaching methods. Imagine teaching someone a skill and watching them master it in half the usual time. Imagine explaining something once and seeing complete understanding, not confusion. Imagine your students, colleagues, or children actually retaining what you teach for months, not days. That's the inevitable result of Oshieru, teaching methods optimized through centuries of refinement. Oshieru isn't about making teaching easier for you. It's about making learning inevitable for them. Western teaching says, I will make you understand through perfect explanation. The Oshieru philosophy says, I will create conditions where you discover understanding yourself. One approach creates dependent learners who need constant help. The other creates independent thinkers who teach themselves, the Japanese way of cultivating mastery. Your challenge, next time you teach anything, whether showing your child homework, training a colleague, or explaining a concept, use the 3-question framework. Instead of explaining, ask 3 strategic questions that guide discovery. Watch how much deeper their understanding becomes when they build knowledge themselves rather than receive it passively. This is Oshieru, the art of teaching that transforms students into self-directed learners. This Japanese teaching technique is built on the same learning principles as our 7 Learning Secrets series, F. All playlist linked below. Understanding how people learn transforms how you teach. These methods from Japanese education multiply each other's power. Your brain is waiting to be optimized through Japanese teaching wisdom. Subscribe for proven teaching strategies backed by neuroscience and Japanese philosophy.